Yeah. Yeah. Can you believe they told me that I would never make it? Now we smiling in their faces, smiling in their faces.
That looks a lot better than 4 rings with super teams for like 15 years.
6 finals losses too.
If you are that great and you stack the decks to that level, you better win every time. You better maximize on that.
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
I knew you was lying. I knew you was lying, man.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Tyler, let me just do this. Like, LeBron is supposed to be, again, like an undisputed top 2 player. Even people that have Jordan at 1, like pretty adamantly, will still accept or suggest that LeBron is 2. Look, this guy's been at an elite physical level from the time he entered the NBA till now at 41 years of age, 23 years. Since his age 26 season, he has been jumping around the NBA, amassing teams that are perfectly positioned to help him get to and maximize his winning window. So from 26 to 41. He has 4 championships in the overall 23 years of his career. And they're all kind of, look, in Miami, fine, whatever. A team way too big to fail. 2 top 3 players in the NBA joining. Kobe, I thought, was the best player at the time. Then LeBron and Wade were the second and third best players in the world at that time. Those 2 join and get a top 15 player in Chris Bosh in a weak-ass conference. Too big to fail. So congratulations. You got 2 in 4 years. So, but then look at the other 19 years after that pairing in Miami. 2 rings, and they're 2 kind of flukish rings when you think about it. The bubble ring in LA, which we've talked about, where it's, again, like 5-month hiatus, totally like pristine setting for them. No travel. They were an older team. AD was injury prone. He comes in totally fresh. They don't have to travel anywhere at all. Like really a hand-designed kind of scenario for LeBron to succeed in that one outlier year. And then other than that, the 2016 ring with the Cavs that everyone talks about is like one of the best rings ever. But they had, again, another easy run out of the East. And then the Warriors were up 3-1. That was going to be gentleman sweep city if Draymond Green doesn't get suspended for Game 5. And then there's a bunch of other injuries that take place for Golden State. Steph Curry is not right during that series physically. Kyrie Irving goes absolutely ballistic in games 5 and 7. Like that. And they still barely win that Game 7 on a Kyrie Irving game-winning shot. So like really 2 flukish outlier championships in 19 years. Otherwise for Miami, those are the 4 rings we're looking at. Like 2 just behemoth super team rings with Miami, and then the 2 outlier ones. Otherwise, for the greatest player that has ever existed, or the second best player ever, with stacked rosters for like 16 years, like I'm not buying it. Like give our guy Kobe Bryant LeBron supporting casts against the competition that he faced. I really believe in the same exact years and competition with the same teams, Kobe would have had like 7 or 8 rings, and LeBron had 4. So just an overall underachievement for him, I think, from really an entire career standpoint, not just the Lakers, his time with the Lakers.
Yeah, and it's funny. That's what kind of mentioned with the comment I sent you with Jamie Foxx when he commented on it. I said, you give 26-year-old Kobe Bryant, because I know LeBron was 26 when he went to the Heat. You give him the second best shooting guard in the league, or in case he plays shooting guard. So let's even move it, the second best small forward in the league, and then you give him a power forward. I mentioned Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett would be overkill. He's way better than Bosh, but just in general, you give him a top 15 guy in Bosh. You give him a top 5 guy in Dwayne Wade at 26. How many championships does Kobe win? I mean, we can't
win all 4 of those.
Yeah, and then I get into the fact that the part of LeBron's issue with his own legacy is that he's never overcame anything because he ran. Like the part of Kobe being so great is that after Shaq, all that like pressure, all the Colorado incident, the fact that his team was trash for a couple seasons, he blew the 3-1 lead, they accused him of quitting, everything. Then he wins back-to-back championships, and he says that fifth one was the best one. Like, let's think about how much he felt, his spirit as a champion. I went through that big 3 Boston Celtics team, which is a juggernaut team, and to me, that to me is one of the best teams of the 2000s. That was a really, really good team. They had a lot of better, to me, on paper and a team as well. I think they had a lot of better players than the Lakers, and they still came up big with that Game 7 win. And those are the things that we measure greatness by, right? We measure it by those things. And if you are always ready to leave that back door and say, oh, when Kyrie's looking good, they got the number 1 pick, let's get Kevin Love. Okay, I'm out here. I'm not winning. Let's go to LA or let's go to Miami. You're always running and you're never really having that. That's why I think that 2016 ring is always mentioned, is because that was like his only moment he has where he came back from a 3-1. That was like a story. Even though there's more to it, that's the only one that people try to bring up when mentioning him. But I think, like I said in the beginning, my whole rant here, there is a section of players in the NBA who overcame adversity, and that's why we love them, and that's why we continue to have them higher on lists, because of what they endured through their career and how they didn't run or they didn't go anywhere, and they became champions again. And I think ultimately that's what makes guys like Jordan and Kobe so great. And that's why when we look back at their careers, we can celebrate them because we know they didn't take any shortcuts. Skap.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Hang on. Let me just add to that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because to me, it's more even so just from sports. It's formulaically like the hero's journey. Like, to me, like, I'm a big comic book nerd, and I like, comic books and superhero films and all that. The reason, like, I never aligned really with Superman because he's just unbeatable. He's too easy, like, to root for, right? Like, he has no really elite villain. To me, like, the hero can only be as great as the villain that is opposing them. Like, the obstacles that they face. Like, that is what the hero's quest, the hero's journey, like, that is what makes these people, these players, these figures great ultimately. Only the challenges that they have to overcome. If you're consistently sidestepping the challenges and running in the opposite direction and consistently taking the easy way out, then you can never really reach your maximum. You can never become the greatest that you can become. And that's why, to me, LeBron James has not only cheated the sport of basketball, he cheated himself. I truly do believe that LeBron had the ability, the potential to become the GOAT, or at least in a viable GOAT conversation. But he cheated himself out of reaching that potential by taking the easy way out all the time. So Kobe didn't do that. Kobe stayed. He fought. He came through the other side, and that's why, again, we, like, to your point, we think he's so great. Same with Jordan. He played the Celtics twice, in the Larry Bird Celtics. He played the Pistons 3 times, the Detroit Bad Boy Pistons 3 times in the playoffs. He struggled, he fought, and he didn't run. He stayed, he got better, stronger, and he overcame, and he's greater because of it. LeBron James, just a coward, and he's a loser for it.
Yeah, and I'll add one more thing to that thought. I think, and I've said this before, I think if LeBron, knowing how long LeBron's played basketball up into year 23, if he stays with the Cleveland Cavaliers and never leaves, I think he eventually gets 1 or 2. I don't think he gets 4 or 5 or 6 or anything near Kobe or Jordan's level, because I don't think he has that in him. And I think, who knows the optics, Skap. Like, if let's say just Dwayne Wade goes, no Chris Bosh, and he win 2-3 rings, we still can respect that, right? But the problem is the way he went about it. The Dan Gilbert accusing him of quitting in 2010, blowing the 2-1 leads, being favored against Orlando in 2009, being favored against Boston in 2010. Like, you came up short so many times, and you already proved who you are, and no matter what you do, you're never going to change the optics of how we viewed you and what we saw. And I think at this point, a lot of the fans and critics, or not even the fans, maybe just LeBron fans, they try to kind of hide the 2007 championship, the 2010 meltdown, the 2011 meltdown. Like, even 2015, he was up 2-1 against that Warriors team. And then once Iguodala checked into the game, he had a terrible game. I think it was a game 4 or game 5. And I just think that LeBron did it to himself more so than people hated him. I think he made himself that villain. He made himself, public enemy number one. So ultimately, like I said, I think if LeBron stays with Cleveland, I think we look at him a little different. I think if he even wins 2 rings, if he even wins, one like Jokic or like Dirk or like Giannis, we can still respect him because he puts up great numbers. But to chase and to do it, it's the way you do it. You can accomplish many things in life by taking different routes, but the route you choose will ultimately always decide how the people view you. So that's my last thought I want to add on that one.
Absolutely. Great point, and I agree with you completely. If he just gets 1 or 2 in Cleveland and stays there the whole time, we look at him completely differently. And like you said, how you stack the decks, that is somewhat then going to be indicative of what the expectations are for you, right? Like if LeBron just had like 1 All-Star or 1 like every other year All-Star with him for most of the time in Cleveland and he gets 2 rings, that looks a lot better than 4 rings with super teams for like 15 years.
6 finals losses too.
If you are that great and you stack the decks to that level, you better win every time. You better maximize on that. Like Magic Johnson, he had basically like the greatest team ever assembled, essentially, in my estimation on paper. He was in a putrid Western Conference in the 80s, but he went to 9 championship rounds in 12 years and won 5 of them. So in 12 seasons, he won half the time. Like, that's what I would expect from LeBron James, winning like every other year for his entire prime run, which is, if we're talking 24 years, this guy should have 8 or 9 rings, and he has 4.
Yeah. There's really no excuse when you make your own team, when you go whenever things go bad, you go here because the grass is greener and you still kind of come up short. That's the ultimate, another, flaw on the legacy of LeBron.